Hey, welcome to Valiant Premier League Southeast Asia, day 18. We started the stream a little later tonight because the first match was postponed. Lava Pets is at a community event where so they asked for a reschedule, and they will play Stadium Royal Flush in another day later next week. So yeah, but we do have a big matchup, a Malaysian team against a Malaysian team. Two top Malaysian teams here, Team Fire Dragoon and M8 Hexa Alpha. Both teams already qualified for Valor Cup quarterfinals, so congratulations to them. And let me just quickly share the lobby ID with the players and get them into just give me a second. Let's see if we could. Right. Okay, just send them the lobby code and we should get it started very soon. And I'll get my co-caster tonight, and it's gonna be Mal. Let me just add his name on there. Are we live? Are we live? I think we are live. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Let's get hype. Let's get hype. Yo, do we have?
Hey.
Yo, Mal, what's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay, surviving. So
Good.
in case you guys didn't know, I actually had kind of feeling under the weather today. So but I'll try to hang on there and get this game underway. But yeah, quite a matchup we have here. Fire Dragoon against M8 Hexa Alpha. Two very good teams. Let me just invite. I'm not sure if Das is online. Is Das online? Let me check. Das, where are you? I don't see Das. Oh, there you go. Okay, I see him. All right, getting the players into the lobby. Hey, Azmi, what's up? I'm feeling okay, surviving. So yesterday we supposed to have a match, but I kind of mixed up the schedule and with my mom-in-law's birthday, so that is why that match is gonna be tomorrow instead. So apologies for those who are looking forward to watch Live Soup 24, but yeah, that's gonna be tomorrow instead. Yeah,
I think we all understand that, man. Yeah, I think we all understand that. No one likes to be on the bad side of their mother-in-law.
Yeah.
We're always trying to impress the other half's parents, so that's completely understandable.
Yeah.
I think no one's going to hold that against you at all.
Thanks.
So yeah, so we've got Fire Dragoon versus M8 Hexa today.
Yeah. Fire Dragoon, they replaced Cat Foods. They played their first match, I think last week, and played very well. So interested to see how they're gonna perform against a very stacked M8 Hexa Alpha team that have already qualified for the quarterfinals of Valor Cup. So in case you guys don't know, Valor Cup is the it's sort of like the qualifier for teams to go into road to AWC. AWC is Arena Valor World Cup, which is gonna be held in LA 2018. Who knows? Me and Mal might be there. I mean, if
we can hope.
we can hope. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
You might be, and I very slightly, possibly, could potentially be a little bit further. I think you have slightly higher chances than myself, but that's not going to stop us working towards it.
Yeah. I mean, August is still about 5 months away, so hopefully we can make something happen. But even if we are not there working, if we are there just to spectate, that would be great as well. So. Yeah.
That would be handy, yeah. So the teams are slowly coming together now. We're just waiting on a couple more people. Now, Fire Dragoon, obviously, they had their debut last week in the league, and they did great. They absolutely put on a great performance. Very dominating. M8 Hexa have been particularly dominating as well. Although, to be fair, it's difficult for me because we have a lot of M8 teams, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
We have quite a few M8 teams.
M8 Hexa Alpha, M8 Hexa Delta, and then there are actually more but did not qualify for VPL for well, different reasons. Some of them just joined M8 Hexa's family. Some of them did not qualify. So yeah.
But so this is Alpha that we've got today, yeah?
Yeah. So I mean, Alpha is one of the top team. M8 Hexa Delta, which is in other competition they are called M8 Hexa Ace. They are definitely the top three teams along with Penang Food. So M8 Hexa Alpha have very stacked team. But speaking of stack, I do want to give you guys some well, I'm not sure if it's bad news, but you remember Lysoup24, right?
I do. Yeah. The name rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah, so Lysoup24, which was from Resurgence, they kind of changed their rosters. I got the information from their new manager, and they said that WQXD, BBTY, as well as Swoop himself is going to Taiwan to play League of Legends. So
wow.
Yeah, so that's I'm not sure if I'm supposed to reveal that, but hopefully I'm allowed to reveal that. But apparently they are going to Taiwan, so they won't be participating in VPL any further. So they will be replaced by some new members from the Nakama family, but they will change their name to Tamago. So
hey, it means we get to welcome new players into the league, and the good thing about welcoming new people is they often bring new stuff, new strategies, new plays, new heroes. I saw that you guys have now got Talanas, which is a huge potential game changer for your marksman scene. Obviously, the scene has been predominantly dominated by Violet and Joker with some Slims thrown in. It's going to be interesting to see which of those three starts taking a backseat to Talanas, because Talanas, while we're still waiting for a couple of people, I'll run through some of her strengths. She has extremely good poke. Her range is pretty much the largest in the game, particularly when she has her, I think it's Eagle Eye, I want to say. Yeah, Eagle Eye. It increases her range and movement speed. So she can basically do a lot of damage. It basically adds magic damage to her shots as well, so the shots do a little bit more damage at the same time. But yeah, she works particularly well in the duo lane, more so than I know that Joker's been played mid. I know we've seen Violet Slims in the jungle. Talanis is purely based. Is going to do much better in that duo lane. Her passive is called Morningstar. It essentially gives her increased damage if she is with a nearby ally. 10%, yeah, that's it. So she is designed to be a duo lane marksman. This is literally cookie cutter, exactly what she's built for. So she is great in that regard. She obviously, you're going to be looking to try and isolate her to pick her out. So as far as the enemy team are concerned, if you have a Talanas on the enemy side, you want to make sure you're picking assassins that are going to be able to pick her out, get to the back line and destroy her. She doesn't have much mobility. She does have an Arrow of Chaos ultimate, which does push back, but if you're able to get on her and burst her down or CC her, she's extremely susceptible to that. So it's going to be interesting to see if she's played, because she's very new to the SEA region, whether people feel confident enough bringing her in at this stage, or they might wait a week until they feel comfortable playing her. But she can be a real potential game changer, and obviously she also late game brings so much siege.
Yeah, really looking forward to see Talanas in tonight's match, but we do have the game started now in the ban pick phase, and M8 Hexa Alpha is gonna be banning Murad right away, and Team Dragoon we'll see what. Chalkner seems to be the standard ban.
Well, last week we saw a lot of Murad Chalkner as the top two bans being consistently picked. Zephyrus is a strong ban though, and we saw Zephyrus over recent weeks getting a lot more respect within the SEA region as far as the pick and ban phase. That does leave Chalkner open, and that's an immediate pick up there for M8 Hexa Alpha. Let's see what Fire Dragoon come back with. Like I said, there are some really strong pickups last week. They did really great in games. Zenial was a key factor in that, and they are going to pick up Zenial alongside that Joker.
So, right away, Chalkner being picked up here, along with Lubu. Daz might be playing on Lubu. Tara being picked up as well. That's an interesting pick. What do you think of that? Two tanks.
Well, like I said, so far the lineups. It's going to be very dependent on these last 2 picks for MA Hexa, because Chona could potentially be played mage mid or support. I like him support, but he's very consistently played mid in the SEA region. Lubu is quite a consistent good jungler, and Tara could easily fall into that solo lane role, so nothing too big. However, the Thane does throw everything out of whack, and it could mean that we're now looking at a Thane solo, a Thane support, a Tara solo, Lubu jungle, and Chalgana mid, with the Yorn picked up for the marksman for a little bit more attack damage. Meanwhile, a much more conventional build coming out from Fire Dragoon here. Raz going to be playing probably that mid role. Xenia will go solo. Mina going to be taking the support role with.
You don't think Joker will be played mid?
I think of those two, out of Raz or Joker, I'd rather keep Raz mid and the Joker in the duo lane. I think they'll play Violet in the jungle and leave the Zenial to be solo lane. He'll be taking that punish so he can secure the Spirit Sentinel consistently early, as well as keeping vision priority. I think because he has a lot of mobility, he has a shield, he doesn't necessarily require a heal, and obviously he has his ultimate as well to support his teammates. So it does leave his talent choice open to something like Punish, which can benefit him as an individual in the early stages. And obviously it gives him a little bit more security around objectives in the late game. I think that's what they'll go with. However, I've been proven significantly wrong in the past by the players of the SEA region who cannot always be predicted, and I love that they cannot always be predicted. We've seen a little bit of inexperience on 2 of the heroes there with Mina and Joker. Not necessarily heroes that have been played a lot on these accounts. Let's always reiterate that, guys. It doesn't mean they've never played the heroes. It just means that on these accounts, they haven't played them a load. We'll see how that plays out, though. Mina was a huge factor in some wins last week from various teams. So, yeah.
So we might see the same thing again. It's being played by KP tonight from the Fire Dragoon team. And Fire Dragoon, this is probably their biggest test so far, or their second match in VPL Southeast Asia after replacing Cat Foods. They are playing on the red side, and MA Hexa Alpha gonna try to bounce back from their last week's defeat and see how it does. And there's a bragging right here. 2 Malaysian team. We don't have a lot of Malaysian team, but these are the top 2 right now.
Yeah, I mean, Fire Dragoon, like I said, have they've only just recently debuted, and it does look like we're going to have the Raz Chalgana mid lane at the moment. Yeah, and it does look, at the moment, it's kind of a solo lane with the supports both roaming. But we do have a little bit of aggression coming out here from the M8 Hexa side onto Kun in the top lane, playing at Zenial. I believe he played Zenial last week, and like I said, he was a great effective. Raz, meanwhile, has picked out Chalgana. Raz is obviously going to have a little bit of an advantage in lane because he doesn't depend on mana, whereas Chalgana is very mana dependent, and he's going to be relying on his A to get any level of poke in these early stages. As long as he stays behind the minions, he should be relatively okay from the poke from Raz. But we can see Thane kind of waiting in the wings. Chalgana's trying to draw Raz closer to the bushes. If he steps himself out, I think he can maybe bait Raz to dive in with the punch, especially now he's got the confidence of Mina in the bushes as well as, there's Raziel there as well. Everyone's coming after Chalgana, but that's probably the worst person you could try to grab. He just uses his A, walks away and goes, nothing really comes of that, because of all the people you could pick out on, the one with the self-cleanse is probably not the person you want to try to CC. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we see a lot of aggression coming out from M8 Hexa onto 7 there on that Joker, who's just going to manage to defend that turret, but it does leave Abyssal Dragon open. Wow, some serious aggression on there. Abyssal Dragon does allow the FDG team to close in. Heal is used. A lot of damage. Heal is used on both sides. First part's going to go over to Thane. No one really has their ultimates just at this stage except Tainted Ones and Chalgana. Does give them the advantage, and they will pick up 1 kill and the Abyssal Dragon to give them a slight early goal lead. Gold lead. The gold lead is the goal. But yeah, so what are your thoughts in these early stages, Chisi?
Early stages, I think MA Hexa Alpha have started much better. They have picked their lanes much better. I mean, I think the unconventional draft here is kind of throwing FDG off a little, in my opinion. But as you can see, JJC playing on that team has been quite effective so far.
Yeah, I think that these early stages, like I said, gold leads, you know, they come and go in the early stages. It's just whether a team can capitalize on them. Love is in a kind of, I say, vulnerable position. He was surrounded by 3 people technically, but he is playing Tara. Tara, for those that are unaware, with her ultimate can regenerate a lot of health, and she deals a lot more damage the lower on health she gets. So a lot of people do underestimate the damage she can put out when she's lower on health. Obviously, particularly susceptible to CC though. If she can be CC before she can utilize that ultimate effectively, she can really take a lot of damage quickly, particularly in these early stages when she hasn't got the itemization quite in place yet. But at the moment, both teams, I mean, we've already had obviously 1 Abyssal Dragon and 1 kill, but this is still relatively calm for both these sides. We've seen a lot of aggression being put out early by teams recently in the VPL, with sometimes having more kills than minutes in the first early stages of the game.
Especially from Brand eSports.
Yes, they did absolutely amazing last week, and I look forward to seeing them back in action. When have we got Brent in action again?
We have not scheduled yet because I am off to holiday next week, so it might be
where are you going?
I'm off to Bali.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the UK right now where it's -3 and covered in snow, so
you could do some Bali treatment there.
I could definitely use some Bali treatment. That would definitely do me some good right now. We have a pause coming out from the red side.
Yeah.
I think that was red side.
Yeah.
Yes, red team. Yeah.
I just want to take this opportunity to respond to Christopher. Is asking what happened to the first match. So Wavapets requested for reschedule due to their commitment at the community event for Arena of Valor, so they can't participate in VPL. So we will reschedule it later this week before I go off to Bali. So yeah, stay tuned for more news, but unfortunately that match did not happen, but will happen later next week. Alright, so that's the update that we have. What are your thoughts so far in this game? Pretty defensive so far from both teams. They are not trying to overextend themselves, in my opinion.
No, I think both teams are playing very conscientious, I think would be the word, of both sides. They're very aware of each other. We're seeing a lot of movement around the field, but nothing really dramatic coming of it. However, it's all the little victories that are being taken at this point in time. They, successfully managing to be present for the waves, getting 2 Abyssal Dragons, managing to get a kill in these early stages. It was already allowed for a 1.6k lead going over to the M8 Hexa Alpha side. So, it doesn't feel like much has happened, but the gold says otherwise. We're only at 4 minutes and there's already over a 1k gold lead. That's really reassuring for M8 Hexa. If they can capitalize on that, there will be a stage coming very shortly. If we look at the itemization, you can already see it kind of coming into play, where M8 Hexa Alpha are going to hit the 2 item and boots spike, or 2 larger items, while there'll only be the 1 item and boots on the side of FDG. And if they can get a good team fight at that moment, when they have that item advantage, they are going to win the team fight. They were going to want to win the team fight, and then they can really push objectives and start snowballing. So FDG, if they are being very conscious of what's going on as far as itemization, they might be aware of that. They might start playing a little bit safer and just focus on farming and getting themselves into a good place. We do see in the top lane now, Zenial is going to be you see the pack moving in here from M8 Hexa. That's bad for Zenial. He uses his jump dash to go aggressive. It's going to put him into a very wrong position. Dane will pick that up with the execute. And that's going to be too much too quickly for Zenial to cope with.
I think KP is having some issue here. He hasn't been moving for the past minute, so...
Yeah, that's potentially what the pause was maybe about. Obviously, we don't have the communication. No, he's moved a little bit there. He's re-established.
He's back. Whoops. Whoa, what happened? Did I just lose sound? Whoa. What just happened? I'm not hearing anything. Not sure what's going on. Yeah. Mal, are you still there? Mal, are you still there? I think we lost Mal here and lost audio as well. Let me just reconnect with Mal in a bit, real quick. Sorry guys, some technical issues here. Not too sure what's happening, but we're trying to fix that. Just give me a second, trying to reconnect, but my Discord is not responding. So we'll do it without Mal for a bit, but we'll try to be back shortly. But here we go, MA Hexer Alpha is leading by a bit, but only 2 kills to 1 to show. But kills coming out here, FDG taking out Tainted once. And MA Hexer Alpha is running for their lives. Rio still staying alive. They're trying to chase down 7. Yeah, seems like we had a bit of lag earlier on, so we're trying to fix that. Apologies for disrupting, but we'll get Mao back in a bit. FDG picking up some kills and gonna take down this mid lane tower as well. Alright, let's see if you have Mal back. Hey Mal, are you back?
Yes, I'm back and I can hear you properly now. I have no idea what happened there.
I think it's my side. Something happened to my connection, but we are back.
Okay, I was really panicking there. I was like, oh god, everything looks like it's fine. No, it's okay. I was worried it was something on my computer, but everything looked fine. So you know when you're looking for a problem and you can't see anything that's actually wrong and you don't know what's gone on. All is well in the world, however, not so much for MA Hexer, who have managed to get themselves down 2 kills and the 19k gold lead now going over to FDG. So a flip of what we saw literally only 2 minutes ago. So great play coming out from them to pick up the Abyssal Dragon as well to help pull them back into the game, as well as those 2 towers to keep themselves even on towers. What are your thoughts, Jasin? What are we seeing here?
Yeah, I think the team fight earlier on that FDG managed to win was crucial for this comeback so far. But hope they will be able to sustain this this momentum and push on. But we gotta work on those objectives a little bit more. Top tower still standing strong, but MA Hexer Alpha is not very far away.
Yeah, no, I think we're definitely seeing some serious gameplay coming out from both these sides here. Abyssal Dragon looks like it's going to be secured by the Killing Joke there from 7. However, that is a very low KP right now. KP, though, not the target you want to see, and he's still staying alive regardless. Dusk is on the backline right now. Isn't where he wants to be. The rest of his team, meanwhile, been held off by Zenial, who still stays alive in the process. Manages to keep the rest of the team at bay. Raz throwing out the punches. Is going to connect with JJC. Oh, there's the Laughing Gas Bomb. Comes down. Ooh, that's going to be traded out in kills. KP is going to use the Dark Dominion to keep Thane in place. JJC still pulled back, is going to manage to go down to the FDG side, and that does work out in their favour. Trading out the 5 for 1, I believe, in favour of FDG. Definitely worth, especially as they pick up that blue tower in the bot lane as well. Tara, unfortunately, not anywhere nearby. She's going to push out mid, and if she had more of a wave there, she might have been able to secure mid and trade out the turrets. But there isn't enough of a wave, and Raz has put in an appearance. So that is going to be just a very, very confident trade out in favour of FDG there. Now extending that gold lead to 3k. Really impressive stuff considering where we were at like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, very, very impressive stuff coming out from FDG. Just getting their seat warm, and then now they are showing what they are capable of. But just a reminder, this is game 1 of a best of 3 game series. So whoever loses this match, they still have a chance to win this. But MA Hexer Alpha turning their attention to the Dark Slayer and try to pick this up to turn the momentum back to their side, but 7 fully aware of that, trying to steal it. Will they be able to do so? No. Thus making sure that doesn't happen, and they have the Dark Slayer buff now to try to push the momentum back to their side.
Yeah, they did a good job there, keeping love around the perimeter. You did see the pings coming out from Tara there, alerting the team to the presence of FDG. You know, that was great scouting on their part. utilizing their teammates to make sure that no one is in range. 7, he could have tried to fire out the killing joke there, but I think he didn't quite connect. Abyssal Dragon's going to be taken as well. So not only do they take Slayer, they take Abyssal Dragon away, and this is definitely a big swing. We've seen this going back and forth, a really tough game so far, and now M8 Hexa Alpha are now firmly in the driving seat. The grab doesn't quite connect from KP there, does pull a minion. However, it will be back up in just a second. Luby's throwing out the slow. You can see Raz connecting in the bush there, but Chalkner waiting in the wings for the AoE slow. The rest of his team, though, have spread out and backed off. Now, this is exactly what FDG want. We've got a M8 Hexa Alpha team with a buff that are getting no objectives. This is exactly what FDG want. They want to keep them at bay. They want to stop them getting any objectives. They just want to, waste this buff. Yeah, they got gold from it, but they're not going to get anything else from it if they play it safe here. Chalgner picking out KP there, not the target that you're going to want. The Heavenly Barrage was thrown out from Tainted just to try and see if anyone was out there, but there wasn't anyone around scouting. You can see Xenial still in that top lane. Obviously, he has the security of his Angelic Splendor to team up with his teammates when needed. Raziel nearly walking into love there in that bush. We can see the siege coming out from M8 Hexa Alpha in the mid lane. That turret is very low, but that's a big dive in from Deadeyes. He's risking it all. We see the ultimates coming out from everyone across the board. Laughing Gas Canister is used onto Love. Love does go down, but so does Raz in the process. Dusk going deep there with the slow, but it's 4-on-2 in the siege in mid now. This is pretty dangerous. We just see Chalder pick up that kill onto Raz. The lane has been cleared. We've got 3 people now. That buff is no longer on them, and Raziel does have decent wave clear as well as poke at this point, but Tainted One's just in range. Does manage to connect a little bit, and he will start dwindling that turret down. He's got 7 here now as well, but it's not going to be enough to drive them back as they run in and take and secure that objective. Now they're getting a little bit greedy because they are very low right now. Can we see the snipe come out onto Tainted Ones? Will it connect? No, but there is going to be a lot of damage coming out to JUC. JUC passive has been procced there. Does pull him back to about 3rd health. Red Tower, meanwhile, was destroyed in the bot side by Lubu, who was solo pushing. So that was great work from them. They did manage to push 2 to 3 turrets with that drive. Not all while they had the buff, but they definitely used it to their advantage. Now with a 2-turret lead. But the gold, look at that gold. It's still so close. 800 gold. That's all the difference is, despite that big turret push from M8 Hexa Alpha. This time we've got a blue side pause.
So blue side is M8 Hexa Alpha, so they decided to pause. Both teams are allowed up to 3 pauses and 2 minutes each pause. So so we're gonna wait for them to sort out themselves. But seems like we're gonna get a go ahead now.
Cool. Gregory did ask in chat, are you the same commentator as that day? I don't know which day you were referring to because I haven't got the chat prior to that point up, but I believe
it's you.
It's
yeah, he was asking.
Or myself.
He was asking for you the other day.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's cool. It's nice to be asked after. Thank you very much, guys, for the support. It's Chisin and myself, I believe, are the only casters currently. So if it's not Chisin, then it's me. If they sound English, then it's me.
It sounds rubbish, that's me.
No, I was saying if they look cool. If they look cool, it's Chisin. And if they sound English, it's me. You guys don't get to see my face. Chisin is the face of the VPL. I'm just the voice. Big damage there coming out from M8 Hexa Alpha. Very deep dive there from Raz. You see the downside of Raz. He does have to go deep to get those kills. It does do a lot of damage, but he died in the process. And we saw another kill picked up there on to, I believe, 7. Yes, it was. Double kill from Tara there. Tara doing work finally for the team. Not saying they haven't done any work so far, but now you can see the kills translating as well. And this is another big pickup from them. Does go down in the process, though. Sorry, no, take that back. It didn't go down in the process. Stayed alive. I think the ultimate managed to be popped there.
First ace of the game.
Yeah, I think that is going to be an ace. It's going to be a red tower. Meanwhile, you can see Thane's just gone to mid. I don't think they're going to get overly greedy here. They're going to take that turret and back off. They're pushing out mid, so they've got a slight advantage as far as the lane pressure is concerned. Yeah. We can see the Abyssal coming up in 25 seconds. At this stage, they're not full build entirely on M8 Hexa Alpha. we can still see a few items in the process of being built. So they do need that Abyssal Dragon still, and they definitely want to keep it out of the hands of FDG. 12 to 12 in kills right now, with about 3.5k gold lead in favor of M8 Hexa Alpha. That's still a relatively small gold lead, all things considered.
So it's very hard to separate both teams, but M8 Hexa Alpha is way ahead in terms of objectives. They have 7 towers taken down versus 3 for Fire Dragoon. And in the late game, who do you think will have a better chance of winning this in terms of itemization and etc.?
I'll be honest, I still think M8 Hexa Alpha are gonna have the advantage in the late game, just because their composition is so it's so tanky. There's so much frontline for the team to get through. Raz, you know, he can dive onto the back line, but he's got so much CC waiting for him between a Zenial, between a Chagna, between a Thane. There's just so much waiting for him. If he tries to dive in, he's gonna die. There is no doubts about that. He might get a kill in the process, but he will definitely die in the process as well. You know, there's just so much CC waiting for him. And I feel that if you look at the builds, you're seeing fairly aggressive builds coming out from, obviously from Yorn, from Lubu. So they still have the damage. And even Tara, if you look at her build is very firmly in the damage favor. She's not gone overly tanky here. She's gone for damage, relying firmly on her ultimate to secure and keep herself alive.
Mantle of Ra.
I mean, Mantle probably works in both a tanky build and a damage build, because it's got that AOV damage. It does give armor, it does give attack. You tend to see that in every build on most, you know, on a lot of the big warriors. Arthur, even Thane, you can even put Mantle on if you want to give yourself that little bit of attack damage in the process. But I think if we look at the build on Thane, just look how chunky and tanky that is. You know, he's got a Gaia's for the Raz. He's got the Crimson Banner, which is the Crimson is going to give him so much. Crimson is going to give him so much sustain. Every time he gets that assist or damage, he's going to proc a lot of health. That combined with his passive, he's just going to be generating half his health every time he gets an assist. You know, if when that procs together, he's just going to stay alive so long. KP does get a grab onto Love, but you can see, look at his positioning. Look at who's at the front, look at who's at the back, look where Yorn is right now. Look at Tainted, he's nowhere near anyone. Everyone is just giving him that. Look at that space that he's got right now. Tainty's just standing on the back line, shooting down that base, and no one is even near him. They can't get to him because there's so many big tanky people just in the way right now. Chandra will pick up the kill onto Mina. That's going to be a snipe onto the enemy Violet, and that will be the game going over to M8 Hexa Alpha. Great play there from M8 Hexa Alpha. They looked dominating in the early game. FDG did pull it back in that mid game, but then it went firmly back into M8 Hexa Alpha's territory, and they did a great job there in securing the victory. First game's going to be going over to M8 Hexa Alpha. GG.
GG to M8 Hexa Alpha, picking up the first game win of the best of 3 series. So we'll head into game number 2 shortly, but let's take a quick look at the analysis of the end game. So JJC picking up the MVP there. They basically built a wall for Tainted Ones to just slowly pick up targets there, especially in the late game. So they had a plan, and it worked pretty well for them.
Yeah, it really did. I think as the game went on and people did get those items and did get that little bit tankier, FDG really struggled to get onto the back line. You saw some really great positioning from Tainted Ones. His team kept him safe. This was a defend the Yorn composition. You know, everything about this allowed Yorn to stay safe. Every time someone tried to get into the back line, you saw JJC throwing out you know, he was pushing them back, he was driving them back, keeping them away off his carries. You had Love. You know, the good thing about Tara is you can get really in the face of the enemy. You jump in, you spin, you are right in their face, and you force them to attack you, because otherwise they're just going to die, because you're doing so much damage to them, and they have to back off from you. While they're worried about Tara, they're still being shot by Tainted. They're still being damaged by Lubu. Lubu, obviously, you know, if you saw him that game, he came out with 11 assists. So he wasn't looking for kills. What he was doing was diving in, disrupting the enemy team, and then getting back out. So he was getting some damage down, slowing them, knocking them up, and then getting out of there, allowing his other teammates to pick up the kills. So he did a great job of doing what he needed to do as far as that composition was concerned. So generally, just really great play coming out from M8 Hexa, and that's a good example of when someone has a team composition in mind. They have a plan, and it actually it works. It works just as intended. So really great work from them.
Yeah, great work for them. And I think that pretty much was the game plan, and they executed perfectly. A lot of people say, wow, Yawn. I mean, Yawn is being frowned upon in Southeast Asia. What do you call that? Southeast Asia server. But as we've seen here, this seems to be working really well for M8 Hexa Alpha. But we shall head into game number 2 shortly. Just let me have a quick update of the team name here. So yeah, pretty impressive stuff from M8 Hexa Alpha. The draft definitely surprised a lot of people, including myself. And we're gonna see
yeah, I mean they're gonna struggle. I mean, what you need to see is some really early aggression. When you've got a team composition like that, you need to be uber early aggressive. So something like a Batman or a Wukong. Do you have either of those heroes? I'm trying to think. In the SEA region, I need to learn which ones are in the SEA region and which ones aren't. This is my bad. Hello?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was talking to the people in the.
It's okay. I was panicking that Discord had died again. That was all. Very quiet.
No worries.
Do you have Batman or Wukong in the SEA region?
Yes, we do.
Cool. Brilliant.
So,
I just don't get to see them played very often. They're two examples of heroes that would have done really well in that comp. For if they could manage to pick them up and then go very aggressive very early, get that Yawn way behind or take out some of the tankier heroes while they lacked items, and that way they wouldn't get to be that front line as quickly as they did.
Yeah. What
What
about Zuka? Zuka does have quite a fair bit of burst as well, right? But yeah,
he really does. Yeah, I think the reason I went to was simply stealth element. I think that you need to be able to get around the front line and do that damage before the front line realise and CC you. Zuka does have a lot of mobility. He has a shield. He does have a lot of burst. And yeah, I think he would also have probably worked in that composition as long as they managed to get onto. I mean, like Tara, they built really. If you'd have got to that Tara lane before level 4, that Tara was a free kill. That Tara was a free kill. She has a jump, but if you watch that jump be used, then you can just go straight in on her. She built aggressive, she didn't build tanky. If you'd have paid that lane a little bit of attention in the early stages, that could have been easily a farm lane for you as far as kills are concerned. Thane is always tanky, Thane's annoying, Thane has a lot easy. So getting him out of the way or making sure that he's not present when you go for these kills would have done him a lot of good. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt their playstyle based on that. I will just join you in the lobby. But yeah, I think, looking at that comp now and looking at what happened, it's going to be interesting to see how FDG adapt their playstyle to that loss, and hopefully they keep their chin up and they push forward and hopefully we get a really good game come out from them, because I'd love to see a third game.
Yeah, I would love to see a third game as well. But we do have game number 2. I think I switched the names wrongly, so let me just fix that real quick. But we have the ban phase now, and it's gonna be M8 Hexa Alpha deciding what's gonna be banned.
Yeah, I was gonna say if they're not offering a Batman, I'm like, into me. But yeah, Murad would actually have been another example, by the way. Obviously Murad banned out, same with Zephyrus. Both heroes that could dive onto the backline and do a lot of damage and assassinate the enemy in the early stages. Murad, like I said, would have been a particular nightmare because he would essentially be unCCable during his ultimate. If he could keep diving into that backline and doing damage over and over again. Child going to pick up immediately again by M8 Hexa Alpha, and we see the Zennial Joker lock in for FDG again. Obviously 2 comfort picks for them. At the moment, this is a mirror of the previous game. Hopefully it won't be a mirror for FDG. That's definitely not what they're looking for.
Yeah, they actually opted to have the second pick again. So in VPL, we do things a little differently. We flip a coin at the start of the best of 3 game series. The winner of the coin flip will choose which side they want to play on, and the loser of the any game will decide which side they want to be on for the subsequent games. So Team Play Dragoon opted to have the second pick choice. So yeah, and
that's cool for them.
Yeah.
This time we are seeing KP. Obviously, Mina is a bit of a comfort pick for them. We've seen a lot of Mina play from KP. It didn't quite come into fruition last game. There wasn't enough squishy targets for KP to grab hold of. Every time they did manage to get a grip, it was onto a tanky target. A little bit more of a squishy composition coming out from M8 Hexa Alpha this time around, but still pretty tanky, pretty mobile. Love looking to be playing at Ari this time. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this one works out. Melok is a really nice pick. The combination of Melok and Zenial. What we are missing though is any form of magic damage.
Yeah, so no magic damage, just build as much armor as possible.
There's your Zuka. You asked for that Zuka, you got a Zuka.
Wow.
Still no magic damage, but still, but you did get a Zuka. I mean, there's not a ton of magic damage coming out from the side of M8 Hexa Alpha either. That's a very, if you build a lot. I mean, Thane is going to be unkillable in the late stages. He will just go Asterion straight into Crimson, into Aegis, he'll just literally build armor item after armor item after armor item. By the late game, he's just, if you shoot him with anything or hit him with anything, you're basically just going to be coughing on Thane. It's going to be nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, Thane's life just got a lot simpler as far as itemization, because he's just going to type in the word armor and buy everything on that list. You'll literally see Sonic Boots into Asterions, into Crimson. If he wants to get a bit aggressive, if they're getting a decent lead, he'll go to Mantle because it's got armor as well as damage. Chalgnar will probably go something like Berith's, where he's going to get that magic damage and armor as well.
What do you think of the Narkrov pick here? We don't often see Narkrov being played.
My experience with Narkrov is limited in the regards that when I've seen it played in professionals, it's absolutely amazing, or it doesn't quite come into fruition. In ranked, I rarely ever see it. He's actually one of those heroes that I'd love to learn. I love mobile assassins. I don't know if you know other games very well, but if you've got games like Heroes of the Storm, there's a hero, Illidan, who's one of my favorite characters from Warcraft lore. He's extremely similar to Narkrov in playstyle. He dives in, he does damage, he dashes out. He's got a lot of sustain, and that's kind of the style of Narkrov. He wants to get in, he's going to do great in duels. We do see people fanning out, kind of a decent spread this time. No one really grouping up, just kind of watching and making sure there's no invasions. JJC has been spotted out by 7 though. Tam does circle around, but JJC wandering back over to his side of the river before anything too much can come from. You can see Raziel on that Narkrov hovering in the bush. He's going to be just doing damage and trying to take out the Vision before Love has a chance to do it, but Love might circle around and one shot. Boop.
Yep, managed to steal it. So all the work done for him, and
yeah, I think Raziel was leaving it for Zenial to take out, so the gold went over to his solo lane, but didn't quite come and go that way. And just one little boop from Love, and that's a nice easy take. But yeah, meanwhile we do see a lot of red in that bottom left side of the screen. What's going on here? We see 4 people for Alpha as well, the bot side, circling around. Killing Joke lands onto 2 people there, great damage. Raziel's going to dive in and then dive out, but he's still going to take way more damage than he'd like to. And Lubu also fairly mobile, does manage to chase him down quite effectively. He didn't have any teammates there ready to kind of back him off. 7 and Tam had already backed off. So yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there. It's interesting. KP was playing, if I'm correct, KP was playing the Mina last game, and now we've got them in the solo lane playing Zuka, and then we've got 7 who was playing Marksman last game and now playing Mina. So kudos to these guys, obviously being able to play multiple roles, but it's very different. You don't often see that being the case at this standard. You see everyone sort of circling into their roles, into their their comfort picks, their hero pool that they like to work with, and working hard on improving those heroes. It's very rare that you see so many people comfortable in playing so many different heroes, but hopefully it will work out in their favor this time round. So far, they are one kill down and over 1k down as well. So maybe they can pull that back and not let it go out of control like it did last game.
Yeah, so still a pretty slow start. Pretty similar to game number 1, but Tainted One's pretty low on mana there. It's kind of isolated all by himself in bot lane. But we did see MA Hexa Alpha picking up the Abyssal Dragon earlier on, and so they slightly ahead in terms of gold, about 1.4k, and that's gonna be significant if they continue to push on with this momentum.
Yeah, definitely, and we're not seeing too much damage onto turrets. Turrets are looking fairly healthy at this point, so that gold is coming purely from the Abyssal Dragon take and that 1 kill, as well as maybe securing a little bit more farm in his waves, and taking advantage of the situation a little bit there. We can see a lot of blue suddenly roaming towards that outside because we see that turret going very low. A lot of aggression put out from FDG there. They respond by backing off completely to that. We do see Dusk now caught out, does take a lot of damage, goes down to about 3rd health, will pop his restore and get himself out of there, so nothing too harsh coming out. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we see Love going down to about half health from an engage there by Zenial. Zenial will try and secure this vision again, but Love has spotted that that is the case. There's no blue nearby, only Natcroft sitting for FDG up on the top side there. That vision does go over to FDG as well as that Abyssal Dragon, but now we can see the team fight breaking out. That's a lot of healthy people for MA Hexa. Zenial is going to dive down and heal up on 7. That's going to put them into a better position, but they managed to take the thing and back off. KP is going to get themselves out of there. Raziel needs to be careful here. He's going in the wrong direction. If Love circles down, he will find Raziel, but he's going to be looking for Zenial in the top side instead. Chowder, meanwhile, is playing defense. Tam missing with the killing joke. Big dive in from Thane. That's going to force the dashes out from Raziel, but Raziel's out of dashes. I thought he'd used all 3. He hadn't. He did get himself out of there. I want to say all 3. No, he doesn't have all 3. That's Love. Love is playing Ari. He's just playing Natcroft. He can just dash forever. Yeah. But yeah, that's the benefits of Natcroft. Obviously, those dashes just kind of, it's once that cooldown's down a little bit, it's just dash everywhere.
Yeah. As you can see, he is trying to steal the enemy's jungle as much as possible as well. But those are risky play that you need to do as a Natcroft. That's a sign of a good Natcroft player.
Yeah, I mean, you can see if you look at the personal gold on all of the heroes, there's not much in the way of difference. It's all small little bits on each hero. Raziel is going to be caught out again, and that's a lot of CC. He dives out of the heal from Zenial, though. Not great communication there from the side of FDG, unfortunately, but it doesn't matter because they've swooped in, they've picked up the kills, rolled through the wall there from Tainted, is going to allow them to get out of range with that tactical fire, pull themselves to safety. Meanwhile, we did see blue turret go down in the bot side, and they are going to be able to push in now, possibly for a second turret here. They should be able to get this convincingly with 3 people here. Meanwhile, we can't see really any answer as top side, Zenial is still there protecting versus Love, so Love not quite capable of pushing that wave in to get the trade out. Meanwhile, perfect timing, Abyssal Dragon has come up, and that's going to be FDG securing another objective here. I think that will go down before Thane can get himself into position to try and snipe it. 7 also playing defense there, just spots him out and keeps him at bay. So really great play on the side of FDG there. Big turnaround for them. 2 Abyssal Dragons, and now with a 1 turret lead as well. Very different from what we saw just a short time ago, and they've completely closed that gold lead. It's now just neck and neck.
Yeah, so despite suspect play here from Raziel at the river earlier on, but FDG managed to come together to put up a strong fight and came out strong from it, but KP getting caught out, face checking the brush. Ultimate comes out from Taint, but he managed to escape. And
yeah, Zuka's he's unfortunately taking he's forced back. If you're seeing someone back in this game, it's going to be KP at this point. That's just unfortunately the nature of Zuka. You do have to get right in the face of the enemy in order to do the damage. And if there's more than one person, you're probably going to be taking a lot of damage in the process. The only hope is that you kill the enemy while you get away with a small bit of health. And that's the trade-out. We do see 7 caught out here. Chalgner with the slow, not the ideal person, but they are getting very low on health. Ari does throw out the blade, isn't quite going to connect. Does mean that 7 is low. 7 will be looking for the pull midges to grab Chalgner, not the ideal target, however. Laughing Gas Canister does connect. KP diving around 7 with the Dark Dominion onto Dusk. Dusk goes very low, forces the heal out from his teammates, but will stay alive. Killing Joke does fire out, doesn't quite connect with Dusk, but KP is going to dive in, does manage to take away the tiny minion there, but dives back out before he can try and kill Dusk. They could be pushing in on Dusk right now. They know he's taking Sage Golem, but instead they've got their eyes on bigger prizes as they start paying attention to Darkslayer. I feel like they're just trying to bait something here. I don't think anyone's in a good position to really take this. There's too many people up on MA Hex Alpha. There's 2 lower health on 7. Zenio ult comes down. This time the Angelic Spin Deck will connect, and you see the heal onto 7 there. He'll actually saved his life from the Pain Ultimate. So great play there from Zenio, because had that not connected, that would have gone horrendously wrong for them. Killing Joke's being thrown out to try and snipe away that red buff, but that isn't gonna be the case. Now Tam, the sole defender in the mid lane versus a sea of blue players. That's not what you want. He's gonna have to back off here. He does have 2 members joining him now as they circle around. And you can see Nakrov meanwhile stealing away the Might Golem on the bot side jungle here, keeping that still relatively safe, but he's not relatively safe himself. Dusk and JJC did find him out, but he's got teammates, whereas the rest of the team are sold out. Tainted Ones is going to go down. Great work there. Laughing Gas Canister does connect. Nakrov going to pick up that kill. That's a great person to put that kill onto at this stage in the game. Love is going to get knocked up, is going to get damaged, is going to get CC'd, is going to die a horrible death, and that's going to be Tam picking up that kill onto Irie as well. Really good play from FDG here, finding the picks, looking for that siege onto mid. We do see Dusk going 1-to-1 with Raziel, who's just going to go towards top lane and quickly take that before dashing away again. Nakrov life. He's going to dash through the wall, do a lot of damage to Dusk, hit him again, then dash away, and with low health. There you go. Wow. That's literally how you play. That's how you play Nakrov. You dash in, do some damage, dash out, dash back in, and then get smacked down by JJC, who goes, less of that sunshine, let's have an ultimate right in the face, and you see a dead Nakrov who got a little bit too eager.
Yeah, a little too greedy. A little too greedy.
I'll be honest, I play a lot of Thane and I absolutely loved it. That's one of the best things about Thane is his ultimate. It's regardless of how tanky you build, you can just throw out that execute and just destroy tiny little players with low health. It does make you feel pretty good, and that must have been a little bit of a treat for Thane there as he walked up towards Sage Buff and went, hang on, there's a Nakrov here waiting for me to kill. A little bit of a present there for the MAX Alpha team to pick up that kill. I bet that felt very karmically good for them after seeing him dash in and out with such low health and still live. So we see that Abyssal Dragon is up. It's going to be interesting to see who takes this. It's extremely close on gold at this point. So these objectives do count for a lot, and they are going to really have a big impact on the game. Chalgner, Raziel just dives past Chalgner, takes the turret, and then dashes. Nakrov mobility is pretty much almost unrivaled, I would say, in this game. Killing Joke does actually connect onto Tainted Ones and takes about a third of his health in the process. Raziel will dive to backline, see the heal come down, everyone move in for that, picked up from the Angelic Spender. A lot of damage going on to Chalgner. Chalgner forces the cleanse. That's going to be heals popped across the board there. Dusk is now in the middle there. Raziel does go low and is going to go down to Dusk. Dusk managing to keep diving as that Lubu. Meanwhile, Tam does pick up that kill on the backline. Zenio is going to use that shield, is going to dive over the brush there. Lucky for him, there isn't an enemy there to kill. He does go for the lazy back in the bush. Didn't realise JJC was so close. Dives out of the way. Good place, but he ducks straight back into Tainted Ones, who will have that kill instead. That was a little bit of misplay from him. I didn't think he didn't think anyone was chasing him. He went for the back when it suddenly realised very soon after that that's going to do. I like how someone's commenting, JJC, smash your face. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he did. He smashed him right in the face. He went, you know what, here is an ultimate and you have no health. That's just how I speak, guys. You're gonna have to learn my phrases. But yeah, but yeah, it's great work here. Love, meanwhile, dealing it out with Raziel. Raziel does have of you know, sustain, but he's not doing much against Love right now, who is going to be the tankier of the two, and does have to dive out of the way. Love will take that bot side vision, which is going to be helpful at this stage because Mr. Dragon is up. As we see a very spread out team. The only person though for Red is going to be Zenial in the top side, so he can dive in onto his teammates. He will wait for the engage, he'll wait till his teammates get a little bit to half health, then he'll come in with the ultimate and hopefully turn the fight. That'll be their game plan. Meanwhile, we see here a Dark Slayer sneaky sneak from the M8 Hexa team, and it's going down very quick. Aegis was picked up by 7. That's not going to do him any good as far as taking this Slayer, or is it? Because 7's coming in, they've spotted it, he has no range. Slayer will be picked up by Tainted. Tainted is going to manage to secure that for the team. 7 now in the middle of the team, is pushed about. Zenial ultimate does come down, isn't quite in range, I don't think. I think 7 was out of range, but that's some very low health teams as they make their way through, and they manage to pick up a clean sweep there across that. Only Love, the only person left, despite the Slayer buff being on the M8 Hexa Alpha. That was impressive coming out from FDG as they circled in for another turret. They are going to hit onto Love. They want Love, because if they get Love out of the way, this is going to be game. Rayo was used there, great stun up there from Love, keeps himself healthy, great shield as well. Look at the size of that shield. That's going to do great work, but it's not going to be enough. They are going to go down. They are, wow, holy hell. Oh my god, the plays coming out of Ari, double kill and gets away with it. Oh my god, insane triple kill. That was insane play there from Love. Oh my god, give that guy MVP right now. What the hell was that? That was impressive stuff.
That was insane, and I mean, he got the Dark Slayer buff, and I think FDG kind of got over themselves and forgot about how much it makes a difference. Wow! Now I'm not even going to diminish what just happened. Slayer buff. That was a triple kill versus 4 people underneath your turret, and if Love hadn't done that, they would have been game. Yeah, it just would have been game. They would have pushed in with the wave. And got that there, and that's going to be them now turning the tables completely. Huge damage down onto Tam, does force him back under turret and forces Restore out of him in the process. But look at that 2k crit coming out now from Tainted. That's pretty dangerous. That is going to be half the health of Zuka or Joker at this stage in the game. That play by did save the game for M8 Hexa Alpha. We have to see whether it saves them the game in regards to, you know, they might still lose. This could still go very wrong for them. I say that as Ryo has been caught out in the mid lane. KP does get knocked out of the heal from Zenial. Meanwhile, that's a lot of damage coming down. Ultimate from Thane does connect. Is going to be great work coming out there. 7 is going to be forced back by. Meanwhile, Zenial is being targeted by Ryo and his teammates. Does pull him down. Meanwhile, 7 is going to go down. So is Zenial, and this is it. This could be game here. Meanwhile, Natcroft is on the bot side. He's pushing in. They're going to back. They're going to realize what's going on right now. And Raziel, with his play, is going to force at least 2 members back. Meanwhile, we're going to have Tainted and Dusk tanking up the mid turret to try and get that high ground turret. But Raziel's playing the bot side there. That could have easily been game there had Raziel not been pushing in on that aggressive bot side. This is a hell of a game right now. Both of these teams, every time they have an opportunity to win, someone is making a play that is forcing the enemy to have to back off. So great plays from both sides there. Raziel did great work because he did threaten, you know, the possibility of a base race there, because the way, you know, because that high ground turret on the bot side was already down, he did have stronger minions coming in, and it would have been in his favor, especially because he has so much attack speed. He does do a lot of damage quickly. Speaking of damage quickly, by Dusk, that was a great play. Dusk got scouted out, trying to take down that Might Golem in the top side jungle, and was found. This does give them the advantage as far as numbers are concerned. What can FDG do with it? We have 22 seconds till Abyssal's up, but at this stage in the game, it's not really worthwhile. They do want that Slayer buff, but KP, he's now been caught out, and now they're going to trade out kills. That's now putting on 4 versus 4. And you know, Dusk will be up much quicker than KP, so that's going to give them the advantage in about 20 seconds time if they can utilize it well. What do you think will be the difference maker here? Because we have seen these 2 teams neck to neck so far. What would make the difference for them, for either team?
Slayer buff at this point in time. If no wave has been pushed high, I mean, if you look at red side bot, that turret's still there. They have not got any turrets on the bot side. Love is really great and he's really tanky and he's doing a lot of damage, but can he stand up against Raziel? Oh, the Zenio ult is going to save them though. That was a game changer there. I think Raziel down as well as there. They will take Abyssal Dragon just for the the extra gold at these stages, just while they can. But I mean, I think the supports will be fairly behind in gold. So I mean, you could see. I was going to say 7. Yeah, it's 7. It is 7 on the Mina, isn't it? Yeah. So Mina obviously still lacking at 1 item. Meanwhile, on the side of MA Hector Alpha, they are looking pretty strong. We do see Raziel and Dusk trading out over that Might Golem in the bot side. Dusk will take that. Meanwhile, on the top side, we did see Tainted Ones take that. So both buffs going over to the MA Hector Alpha side, so they will have the advantage in team fights. We now see the timer for Slayer kick in with 46 seconds left before that in action. The teams are going to need to get the wave control and get the lanes pushing before they get that engage. That's going to be really key and important here. That's what Raziel is trying to do in that bot side, because if they can secure that objective and they can get some kills, they need a lane pushing so they can try and push for the win. Zuka's trying to do the same, but that's going to be pushed back by Love. Meanwhile, we did see Ryo caught out in the jungle, but he is Chugner. He will just pop his Restore and back off after using the AoE slide. Raziel needs to be very careful here. That's a lot of blue people, a lot of CC being used by thing. That's going to force Zenio into a wrong position as well as he dives in. Natcroft is way out in safety now, but Zenio did have to use his ultimate. Doesn't mean Angelic Splendor is not going to be down. Is going to be down for the next team fight if they can manage to make that happen in a very short period of time. Blue team, I don't know if this is a legitimate pause. This feels like a team talk pause, if I'm honest. Yeah. This feels like them going, okay guys, right, this is what we need to do in the next like 30 seconds. There is 30 seconds waiting. There's literally like, I think 20 seconds or something on the clock before Slayer comes into play.
Yeah, but now
this feels like a team talk pause, not a legitimate lagging pause.
But both teams could go into a team talk now, so I mean.
Yeah, exactly. It gives the other enemy team the exact same opportunity.
It's been a crazy 20 minutes so far from these two teams neck to neck in all occasions, just trading kills and whatnot. But we'll have the game resume now. Game number 2
is coming into play. Raziel's in a vulnerable position. He's pushing down bot, but he does need to get himself up towards Darkseid because he is the one with Punish. Although you have got Zenio with Punish as well. Meanwhile, we can see a lot of aggression trading out here. It's going to force people to back. I think JJC was debating backing because he did see Raziel in the bot lane, but Ari has gone down to answer it. Natcroft, though, look what Raziel's just done. He's forced Love into the bot side, but he's very mobile and he can come join his team quickly. Meanwhile, Love is still on the bot side of the thing. Ryo is in that bush. He is going to back as well. This is very passive play right now. As soon as I think he went back just to get a little bit more health and mana. We do see Darkslayer now being started, but whichever team is in position is on damage from Slayer will give the enemy side some advantage. So whoever starts it is going to be vulnerable. I think they kind of just played around with it. They did force themselves back. Everyone's dancing around this as best they can, but this is going to be mid being pushed out now by Love and Co. Meanwhile, we can see the top side. We've got Zenio still kind of trying to push in as best he can. Spirit Sentinel is up as well, but that's not going to be a big factor at this stage in the game. Meanwhile, Raziel is going to be caught out. He's got a lot of people on him. That's what you see, and that is a dead Raziel. This could be the go sign that MA Hector Alpha were looking for. Zenio does pop back up though. They didn't count on the Ancestral, but that will be taken out by Love regardless. Yeah, that I don't think they planned on these. Meanwhile, we did see top side turret go. This should be answered by the top side turret for MA Hector Alpha, but if they get high ground here, this is definitely going to be in favor.
KP getting the mid one.
Yeah, they got mid instead. So that pressure did great. They can now quickly circle round to Darkslayer if they want to. But you've got Tainted doing a lot of damage on that top side. He's going to be pushing in. He's going to force 2 members back from FDG. This game is so backwards and forwards. These teams are both giving each other so much respect. We've seen 8 towers aside. We've seen 3 Abyssal Dragons to 2 Abyssal Dragons, but that the side with Cubes also got Slayer. Now there's a lot of damage going down and team fights happening across the board. Dust goes low again, but he's still alive. And the heals are used. 7 is going to go down to the Thane ultimate. KP is now being the focus. He dives in, but it's going the wrong way, and he does get picked up in the process. Now it's only Zenial and Tam here to defend. I don't think they can defend, especially when Tam's going that low in the base. You nearly see him go down despite the base heal. That is going to be M8X Alpha finally pushing him and taking the win for the second game and the series. Wow, what a back and forth game. Raziel, what were you doing in the mid lane at the end there, bro?
Wow.
That was a hell of a game. There were some epic moments in that game.
There was some really great highlights from that, especially Love picking up the triple kill right under his own high ground tower. But the MVP goes to Tainted Ones, 9.0, and 6 kills, 9 assists. And I think props to FDG as well. They put up a hell of a fight, especially FDG Tam. What a match that we've just witnessed there, Mal.
Yeah, that was a great game. I think that's what we've been looking for as far as as far as these games are concerned. And I think as we get further down the chain of this competition, this is what you're going to see more of. Yep. We've seen a lot of situations where teams have come in and been very dominating. We're now getting teams going against each other that are far more evenly matched. Yes, that was a 2-0 win to M8X Alpha, but man, did FTG make them work for it. That was not a dominating performance from M8X. That was a hard-fought victory. They did have to work for it. They did great in doing so, but that was just great work from them across the board. I think what did work for FDG, I think Raziel, I think with the Natcroft pick, you could see elements where that shone. I'm not sure if the communication was there necessarily from the FTG team with the use of Natcroft. There was a couple of times, like at the end there, Raziel was farming in mid lane. He was pushing that wave out. He didn't think that the Alpha team were going to be pushing in just quite so hard. Yeah. But they managed to pick up 2 kills very quickly and just push straight onto base. And Raziel was just caught out of position. I think that at the end there, once Raziel went down, that was, like I said, the go sign for M8X Alpha to push in. They knew they had the numbers advantage, and at that stage in the game, with death timers being so long, being down one person is just such a big disadvantage. So yeah, that was really hard, well fought, but really, really well fought from both sides. But GG to both teams and well played. But that's going to be M8X Alpha with a victory.
Yeah, important victory as well. So I think this will give them a huge confidence boost coming towards the final 2 rounds of the VPL regular season before we head into the playoffs. Of course, I always say that Group B is the toughest group that we'll possibly get, and this just confirms it, especially with the addition of FDG here, and I think. FDG will try their best to try to get a spot in the playoffs, but yeah, unfortunately for them tonight, they have fallen against M8X Alpha. So yeah, GG to both of them. Anyway, that's it from us tonight. The earlier game, Wava Pets against Saiyan Flash, will be rescheduled, so do follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and as well as on our Twitch, YouTube. That's how you will get all the latest info. Everywhere. Just follow us everywhere. We'll try to be everywhere, so that you guys won't miss us. Someone asked if we are live on YouTube as well. Yes, we are live on YouTube as well as Twitch. So 3 platforms where just pick your poison: Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, whichever serve you best. So yeah, anyway, that's all from us tonight. My name is Chisin. I am the organizer, and I have Mal here calling all the way from UK to co-cast this match. What a match that we just witnessed. What do you think what do you think both of these teams will do in the playoffs, like if they manage to get in?
I mean, I think that
at least semi-finals maybe.
I would say that the standard of play there was really impressive. Conscious meta play. We saw good teamwork. We saw good individual work from a lot of the players there as well. You know, I don't think that either of these teams can be faulted too much. They both played great. I think, like I say, MX at Alpha after the first game, they probably were feeling really confident. And they probably did not expect to have to work as hard as they did in that second game.
Yeah.
You know, they had a much more comfortable victory in the first game. I think when that second game rolled in, they were expecting the same again. And Fire Dragon just made them just really work for that. That's so hard. They had to work so hard for that victory.
Yeah.
And they almost lost it without that triple kill from Love. Probably in there.
Yeah, it probably could have ended. So MVP, our people's champion was Love. So yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of love for Love in the comments.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people appreciate that play. But yeah, I think MVP went it over to Tainted in the end. And you know, it's kind of, we shouldn't forget that just because marksmen get MVP a lot, and marksmen got a lot of kills, and, they didn't die a lot. It's very easy for marksmen to die.
Yeah. Like
marksmen are squishy. If you can get onto a marksman, they are gonna die probably. So when a good KDA happens to be on a marksman, it's not just because they got a lot of kills, guys. It's because they positioned well. It's because they optimized well. It's because they allowed their team to peel for them. They communicated well. So, when that MVP happens to be on a marksman, it's easy for us to go, oh yeah, okay, marksman gets MVP because they got kills. But it's not just that. It's everything else that comes with it.
It's about survival as well.
Exactly. It has to be about survival, especially when you had people like Zuka and Natcroft against you. Those heroes can destroy a marksman in the early game when they're squishy if they're not positioned well.
And Zephyr's as well if it's not banned. So
yeah, I mean that's pretty much the reason why Zephyr's is banned at this point in time, because obviously with Zephyr's passive he gets very tanky. He dives in, he does damage, and then if you're still focusing him, he survives about 5 seconds longer than you expect him to.
Yeah. So yeah, cool stuff. I guess we will end the stream here, but we'll be back tomorrow. I just got a comment here. Can other region join VPL? Other region, right now we are opening we did open our registration for EU, but we haven't had enough sign up so far. I think we have only like 6 or 8 teams sign up, so we are still looking for
how many teams do you need?
We need to play in regular season we need 16. If we just skip the qualifiers entirely, so we just go straight into the regular season, so we need 16. But yeah, we will try to work on that later this month when I'm back from my holiday, and I will try to get some.
It's alright for some.
Spanish. We try to get some Spanish speaking team as well in the EU side, and hopefully we could get that going.
There's a healthy Spanish scene developing.
Yeah,
we can steal them away.
Team Queso and whatnot. And as for other regions, so far we are only targeting these 2 regions: Southeast Asia, which is the Malaysia, Singapore, and Philippines, and EU. But we do hope that if we could get decent traction, we might want to expand to other regions. We want to cater to as many regions as possible. I do have some demand on the Taiwan side as well for the lower league, for the amateur scene. So we'll see if we could get that happen as well. So who knows? Maybe in the next 6 months or so, we might have at least 3 or 4 regions going on for VPL Southeast Asia. But now our focus is Southeast Asia, and it's been going very, very well, I think, at least. So yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it is. It's going well so far, and I'm enjoying my stay here. I'm very appreciative.
Yeah, I think.
And to all the fans that are giving me so much support, it's really appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the fans supports us to keep going, then I think we will have a very, very healthy competition moving forward. But yeah, anyway, enough blabbering. That's it from us tonight. We're gonna see you tomorrow. It's gonna be Lysoup 24. They just changed name to Tamago. Lysoup 24 against, I believe it's X3 Star.
Cool.
Hang on. Lysoup 24 against Bloodlines. That's gonna be a hell of a match. Bloodlines is at the top right now. They are both level on points, and second match will be Samurai Gamers against X Freestar. So yeah, yeah.